Basic network troubleshooting. To solve network-related issues, we need to go through a lot of investigation and troubleshooting procedures. Some of the organizations have documented the procedures for troubleshooting, while many of the organizations do not go through that process. So there are some basic steps which we have to follow in order to troubleshoot the network, to find out the problem and to implement the solution. We have to go through these steps. Let's see each step one by one. The first step in network troubleshooting is information gathering, that is identifying the symptoms and problems. When we are sick and we visit our doctor, the first thing the doctor asks us is not what is your disease. They will ask for the symptoms we are facing or what are the difficulties we are facing. So we will start listing out the symptoms one by one. The more information we give, the doctor will be able to find out our sickness precisely. So the data or the information we give helps the doctor to find out the exact problem. Likewise, in network also, if you face some difficulty, we have to find out, we have to collect as much data as we can. So with lesser data, it is difficult to find out the exact issue. So once we get enough data, it will be easy for us to find out the issue we are facing. So once the issue is finalized, we can fix it easily. So data gathering is an important step in network troubleshooting. Otherwise, if we don't have enough data, suppose if we are trying to replace our toner cartridge of a printer because it is not working properly, the printer is not working properly, and we are trying to replace a toner cartridge, the exact reason could be that we are entering the wrong password. So always identify what the side effects are showing by the system. So the system would be giving us enough clues. So with those clues, we have to find out. We have to collect as much data as we can. Next step is identify the affected area. So next step, that means we have to find out the affected area. It could be a single client or a specific location or a particular region where the devices are facing some issues. So we have to find out the affected area or affected devices and isolate such devices. So in this step, suppose it could be due to some connectivity issues. So in such cases, we have the client will not be able to connect to the server. So we have to start troubleshooting from the client devices. If it is a Windows user, you can start trying with a ping command. So if the ping command fails, you can try the same command in 2 or 3 devices located nearby. If the ping command fails in all these devices, we can conclude that the problem is not with the client systems, it is not with the customers. It could be the problem of the DHCP server or with the switch. And if the ping command is successful in other devices and if it fails in a particular device, then we can conclude that the problem is with that particular client. So in such cases, it could be due to connectivity, some wiring issues or some disconnections. Like that, we have to find out the affected area. So identifying the ones which are influenced or affected by the issues will give us the first sign of where the issue exists. Once you find out the affected area or the affected device, the next step you have to do is to establish probable cause. That means you have to find out the exact reason or the cause behind the issue. So the probable causes could be that the cables are not connected properly, or the cause could be due to the LAN card is not set up properly, or it could be because some systems are not getting internet connection, active internet connection, etc. So the causes could be many, and based on the cause, you have to implement a solution. So for a particular issue, the causes could be different. So based on the cause, you have to implement a solution. For example, if the problem is due to the cables are not connected properly, then what you have to do is you have to check if the cables are all connected properly or not, and check whether the cable between the computer and the router or hubs are connected properly or not. Likewise, you have to check. Or suppose the problem could be because the LAN card is not set up properly. In that case, if it is a Windows system, you have to go to control panel, take device manager and take network adapters. Under that, the LAN card could be listed. So take the documentation. You can refer the documentation and check whether it is properly defined or not. If your network LAN card is not listing, that means the connection is not proper. In that case, you have to reinstall. So these are the probable solutions. So these solutions all depends upon the cause of the problem. The next step after the implementation of solution is testing the result. Once we implement a solution, we have to find out whether the corrective measures we have taken is successful or not. So in most of the cases, the first solution may lead to a successful result, but in some cases we won't be getting the correct result. That means in such cases the issues are not solved because the issues are not found out properly. In such cases, we have to trace back and go and repeat these steps, find out the exact reason behind the problem and fix the problem and implement the solution. Again, test the result. So it is always better to implement one solution at a time. Otherwise, it will be really hard to find out which solution has corrected the problem. And testing the result, even though it sounds easy, it is not an easy step. It is much harder to implement it, and we need the help of, we need to participate IT professionals, managers, users, etc. for performing the test. Next step is recognize the potential effects of the solution. In fact, this step should be taken place before implementing a solution. So before implementing a solution, we have to find out the side effects of the solution. When we visit a doctor, before prescribing a medicine, the doctor will be communicating the possible side effects of the medicine to the patient. Then only the patient will start the medications. Likewise, before implementing a solution, we have to find out which all servers are going to be offline, what all networks will be offline and for how long, etc. And a proper planning should be there. So in the planning phase, the procedure should be formally or informally planned, and it is always go for the formal procedures and inform the clients in advance or customers or clients in advance so that they can be prepared for the downtime. So we have to implement a solution in such a way that it guarantees the network availability is high. The network will be down for a very short amount of time and we get higher data availability. And the final step in this troubleshooting is document the solution. This is a very important step. So documenting or reporting a solution to a problem will be recording the steps which we have taken to solve the problem. It will always help the managers in future. So the few points to be recorded in the documentation are date. It says when the solution is implemented. Why? It says why we have implemented the solution, the reason behind implementing the solution. So this will help. If the same problem occur again in another system, we can implement the same solution there. Next is what. What is the successful solution we have implemented? We have to document it in detail. Next is results. It is always a good practice to document the results of both failure and success attempts. So the success solutions will help us to use the same solution again in the same situation with other devices. And the failure results will always help us to be away from those steps which will lead us to mistake. So it will help us to save our time. And the last one is who. it is always better to document the name of the person who have fixed the problem. So even if the documentation is incomplete, we can always contact that person and we can come back with immediate solution.